It happens to the best of us. You've gotten dumped. If you're anything other than a teenager, you've definitely been in a relationship that failed. And if you're a guy like I am, chances are you were the one who got dumped. After all, 75 to 80% of the time, it's the woman who does the dumping, whether you're in a dating stage, relationship stage, or you're married. We're talking about what are the signs that maybe your breakup is temporary. What are the signs that maybe she's going to change her mind? That's what we're getting into right now. Hi, I'm Jeff Campbell from DivorcedParentsClub.com, and I'm glad you're with me here today on my channel and on this topic. So we're looking at 11 proven signs that your breakup is temporary. Of course, nothing is really etched in stone, but if you're seeing multiple of the signs I'm about to go over, that's a really good sign that she's reconsidering and that your breakup could be temporary. So the first sign is that she's reaching out on a semi-regular basis, and not, in my case, I'm recently divorced and my wife reaches out about things like to do with the kids and stuff like that. I'm not talking about that kind of reaching out. I'm talking about reaching out on a more personal level, on a slightly more intimate level. She's checking in to see how you're doing. She's asking you questions about your personal life. She's telling you about her personal life. If she's checking in like that on any sort of a regular basis, that's a good sign. The next sign, of course, is that she's not seeing someone new. She hasn't moved on. Oftentimes, women will let their attraction level for you drop, and then bam, that's when they break up with you. And often, they've already got your replacement lined up. Them not saying that they've cheated on you or anything like that, but they know in the back of their mind who the next male orbiter is that they've got out there waiting in the wings, who they might want to see or try dating. They've usually got that person in mind before they let you know that they're done. And so if they aren't seeing anybody, if they haven't moved on to that next relationship, that's a really good sign for you. The next one is that you're seeing them like or comment on your social media channels. Like on Instagram, for instance, if you post Instagram stories, you can see who's looking at those stories. And I know when I got dumped in April of 2021, for several months, my wife would watch every Instagram story I posted, even though she claimed she was taking a break from all social media. She wasn't posting anything on her channel, but I could see that she was looking at my Instagram stories because her name would pop up right there. And it didn't end up meaning anything. It didn't end up leading to anything. We did end up actually divorcing, and I'm glad we did at this point. But I was seeing that for a little while. So if you're seeing things like that in conjunction with some of the other signs, that's a really good sign for you. The next is that they've asked you to get together in person. I don't necessarily mean to like hook up and have sex and things like that, but if they want to spend time with you physically, maybe go, hey, can we get together for lunch? Hey, I'd love to swing by the house and see the cat or the dog or that kind of thing. They're wanting to spend time with you in person, more than once, not just a one-time thing, but on a semi-regular basis. That's a good sign that maybe she's reconsidering and she wants to see, what the chemistry is like again in person, and she's she hasn't made up her mind yet, but it is a good sign, especially in conjunction with some of the other things I'm about to cover. Real quick though, before we go on, if you like this and you want to see more content like this, hit that like button, then smash the subscribe button and the bell notification button too. But let's keep going. The next one is a little more obvious, and it's you've actually had sex with them since you broke up. Now, again, in the case of me and my ex, we actually had sex 3 times after she said she wanted a divorce, before the ink was dry on that divorce decree. So it did happen with us, didn't end up meaning anything, didn't end up leading to anything. But again, if you're seeing that in conjunction with some of the other signs, that's a good sign for you. Because ultimately, women don't have sex with people that they don't feel comfortable with, they don't feel safe with, they don't feel grounded with. They're not going to do that. So if there is some level of physical affection or sex, that means she feels comfortable with you, and that's a good sign. The next one is more of an emotionally intimate thing, and that's when she confides to you about issues in her life, challenges, struggles, things she's going through, what she's feeling. That means she feels safe talking to you. And when women feel safe, heard, and understood, that's when their attraction level grows. That's when they're more likely to want to initiate physical intimacy too. The next one might be a little obvious, and that's if she's actually suggested seeing a therapist together or a couples counselor or that kind of thing. She may not be ready to say yes yet, but she's definitely not done, and she's looking for ways that can make her feel more comfortable about jumping back into things with you, and counseling together could definitely be one of those things. Now, it's not uncommon when women dump you that they say, well, I still want to be friends, or can't we just be friends? Very common scenario. As a strong-centered masculine guy, you generally want to reject that. You say, no, I'm only interested in a romantic relationship with you. Have a great life. That's what you want to do. That's the energy you want to project. But it's not uncommon for women to want to friend zone you. But if she's done that, but then said or done things since then that aren't exactly strictly platonic, where the lines are a little bit blurred, that's a really good sign that maybe she's reconsidering. The next one is if you're starting to notice signs of attraction. When a woman is attracted to you, there are several things that she might do to kind of put those signals out there. It's very rare that a woman is going to be blunt and direct and say, hey, I really like you. I want to fuck you. I want to be in a relationship with you. Most of the time they're not that direct, so you have to learn to read between the lines and look for some of these telltale signs of attraction. But if she's playing with her hair while she's talking to you, that's a good sign. If she's kind of rubbing your forearm a little bit or looking for opportunities to touch you, that's a good sign. If you're standing together and she is standing a little too close, for personal space reasons, that's a good sign. Or if she's accidentally bumping into you sometimes, that's a good sign as well. So those signs of attraction mean that her attraction level for you is growing. And if it gets above, on a scale of 1 to 10, if it's above a 5, you've got a really good shot at fixing this, as long as you maintain your cool, you don't lose your shit, you don't seem needy and desperate and clingy, those kinds of things, and you're not smothering her, and you're not trying to rush her to get back into a full-fledged relationship. You're just letting her come to you at her pace and feel comfortable with it. Number 10 on the list is they want to know if you're seeing somebody. They've asked, hey, are you seeing somebody? Do you have a girlfriend? They want to know because they want to be able to size up the competition, if I'm being honest. If they do decide to, yes, I want to get him back, they want to know what they're up against. So if they're asking those kinds of questions, that's a good sign. And lastly, number 11 on the list of the signs that your breakup might be temporary is she actually exhibits signs of jealousy. Now, my ex-wife did indeed do this as well. So she hit about 3 of these 11 signs during our breakup after she asked for the divorce, before we actually divorced, which was an earlier part of 2022. But she actually was jealous at one point of an ex-girlfriend of mine that reached out to me, and we reconnected on Instagram, and I actually liked a photo of her and her husband and her kids on Halloween dressed up as pumpkins, and somehow she saw that I liked that photo and flew off the handle. Again, this is after she's asked me for a divorce, and it's not like they were wearing lingerie or anything like that, and she was with her husband and her kids. This was not a sexy photo, and it wasn't indicative of anything, and I certainly wouldn't have an affair with a married woman anyway. But she did exhibit those signs of jealousy. So if your ex is exhibiting signs of jealousy, again, in conjunction with several of these other signs, that's a really good sign if you play your cards right. Anyway, I hope this video helps you, and I'll see you in the next one.